AITA for not telling my roommate I own the house? Brief backstory. About a year ago, my last remaining grandparent passed away and my father inherited all assets, including a house. I had been saving for a nice down payment, at least 50%, so I could have a lower mortgage payment each month, thus allowing me to save money for travel. When my father inherited this house, which he had no interest in moving into yet, he offered to sell it to me for well below market rate, with the caveat that he and my stepmother could eventually move into the basement apartment. I agreed, because they're both incredible people who are not at all invasive and would give me my privacy if they lived there. So he sold it to me and I moved in. Present day. About 6 months ago I started considering renting out the finished basement apartment. It has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a living room, and a small kitchenette, sink, fridge, microwave, but no oven. A friend of mine said his brother was moving to my city and needed a place. He's a brand new teacher and doesn't make great money, so he needed a place that wasn't expensive. I offered to let him rent my basement for way less than market rate, $650, which would include utilities. He readily accepted and signed a year-long lease. Well, a few days ago he asked if he could start paying the landlord directly instead of giving me rent money each month. I was under the impression my friend had told him I owned the house, so I was confused and I told him we don't have a landlord and that I'm the owner. He got very upset and screamed at me for lying for over 6 months and taking advantage of him by making him pay so much in rent. For the record, an apartment similar to the one in my house would be well over twice what he's paying me, closer to 3 times for something as nice. He asked how much of my mortgage he's covering and I said, "Why does that matter? You're getting a nice, quiet place to live, access to a full kitchen and laundry room, and you're paying an amount that you can afford. My personal finances aren't really a factor here." He stormed out of the room and slammed the basement door. He's still not speaking to me. I asked a few other friends and some family members, and most said I'm wrong for having him cover my mortgage payments. Only a few say I'm in the right. So AITA for having my roommate cover $650 of my $775 per month mortgage? ETA. He has a lease, so I won't be evicting him over this alone. If he does any damage or becomes hostile, I'll look at the eviction process. But for now, he will remain unless he chooses to break the lease, which I'd allow him to do if he wants. He also didn't bother to read the lease before signing. The lease clearly states I'm the homeowner. I didn't trick him or keep info from him. He simply didn't read what he was signing. I didn't get the house for almost free as some people choose to believe. My father sold it to me for about 75% of its value, more or less as an advance on rent he and my stepmother will pay when they move in here in a few years. We already agreed they won't pay monthly rent but will contribute to utilities and groceries at that time. NTA. He's paying well below market rate and the amount you're paying in rent shouldn't impact this as it's your house. Would he expect to live there for free if you had already paid off the house and had no monthly payment? NTA. If he's so unhappy, offer to break his lease and let him find another place to live. You didn't hide anything from him and you don't owe him anything. OMG, are they freaking serious? What does they think people do when they rent? They cover the landlord's mortgage payment. You are definitely NTA and quite honestly, do not renew the lease with this person. How entitled can one person be? I rented an Airbnb for a few months when I was new to the area. More precisely, I rented a bedroom. Yes, I had access to the kitchen, shared bathroom with whoever else were guests, shared laundry room, and pool. But still, bedroom, for more than you're charging for a finished basement apartment. It sounds like your renter is going to get sticker shock when he moves out. Tell everyone who thinks you're ripping the guy off to check the market rate for the area, then go kick rocks. Were you supposed to let him stay for free? Again, NTA, but I think I'd start looking for smarter friends. Why did he want to change the way payment was made? Was he looking to take over and get you out? Ha 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 ha. Come to think of it, didn't you also sign the lease as the landlord? Edit to add judgment NTA. Wow. The cojones on this one. I'd give him notice. If he thinks he can find a better deal, let him. $650 for a 2-bedroom with utilities included? I don't think you could get that good a deal in Oklahoma. Utilities are included. That is a steal. NTA. And why was he wanting to pay the landlord directly? There is something fishy. It might be that he was thinking of trying to kick you out. NTA. Ask them what their problem is. You were planning on renting it out. You found someone to rent it to and you gave a lowered rent because it was through a friend. The renting was always going to happen. So why not to an acquaintance at a lowered rent as opposed to a stranger for a market rate? Where is the difference in this other than they get a deal? Am I not allowed to rent it out? Because I own it? What are you trying to say here? Frankly, it sounds like they're just salty you have the option and they don't. So it's better to villainize you as a greedy landlord, instead of just a poor tenant. Conversely, you can also invite this person to go look at rental rates in the surrounding area and come back to you when he finds anything lower than what you're offering. NTA. Why are PPL looking at it as if he's paying your mortgage directly? What it is you're the landlord and he's paying you his rent. And where that money goes is nobody's business but the landlord's. If the money doesn't go into the mortgage, where should it go? Back into his own pocket? He's a renter, so he has to pay rent. Anyone trying to argue their way out of paying rent is just delusional. I don't understand how anyone thinks you are in the wrong here. Does this person expect to live in your house for free? What am I missing? NTA. NTA. The amount you're asking is more than fair for an apartment of that size. It doesn't matter what your mortgage payment is and you owe him no explanation. NTA. You are charging less than market rate. What difference is it to him if you own it or not? It is not his business. What are you supposed to do in his mind? Give it to him rent-free? Big no. NTA. As a former realtor, that's how most rental property investors get to continue investing. They eventually get to a point to where the property more than pays for itself. I'm more concerned that this person seems entitled and has a temper. And he's a teacher. If your friends are around the same age as you and don't own property or know any investors, they don't have enough life experience to judge your actions on this matter. I'm certain, if put in the same position, most would agree with you. NTA. It has nothing to do with how much your mortgage is. If your mortgage was $0, would he expect to stay there for free? What matters is the market rate. And are there even any places in the US where you can find a safe, clean 2BR apartment for $650? NTA. Your family and friends are completely wrong. So, are they saying that if the same landlord buys 2 identical houses next to each other and one has a $1,000 payment and one has a $10,000 payment, he should rent one for $500 and the other one for $5,000 regardless of what market rents are? That is just silly. When you rent out property you own, it is a business activity and you will also have future expenses. You are supposed to make a profit. Otherwise, why would you do it? NTA. You did nothing wrong. It's not your fault if the renter failed to his due diligence over who he was paying rent to. Also, you are allowed to make a reasonable profit on the space you are renting. You are renting the space at below market rates, which is what should matter to him, not how much of your mortgage his rent makes up. You were 100% correct that your personal finances aren't his business. NTA. Encourage him to break the lease. Then when he comes crawling back after he learns he can't get anything decent for what he's paying, you tell him he can move back in, but you're raising the rent. Also, the fact that he's helping cover your mortgage payments is irrelevant. If you didn't own the house and had a landlord, your roommate would be paying towards the landlord's mortgage and would be paying a lot more. NTA. He's already getting 50% off the market rate. Your huge deposit is why your mortgage is so low and isn't any of his business. You aren't obligated to subsidize his housing any more than you already are. NTA. The question isn't the mortgage. It's fair market rate for what he's getting. I get the shock he's feeling, but he's not entitled to free housing just because you're friends. God, I hate defending a landlord. Makes me feel dirty. I'm sorry. What? NTA. Your other friends and family should take lessons from you about fiscal responsibility. Repairs are on you. So is the risk. And utilities, maintenance, etc. Don't budge. Increase the rent when this freeloader leaves. NTA. What does this guy think landlords do with rent money? Give it to charity?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.